So the stories of y'all can still see the screen, right? Yes, you can still see.
Yeah.
Okay. So the man was going on a trip. So the trip he was going on, while he was going on a trip, he heard an older gentleman talking to a young man. And when he was talking to the young man, this ship was basically a ship they were traveling on to find their future. And the old man told this young guy, he said, you know, you have to value and know the three bones. And the young guy didn't really understand what he was talking about. So the first one I want to share with y'all is the wishbone. And I don't know if y'all familiar with the wishbone, but the wishbone is a bone that is basically designed to keep you for chasing your dreams. But we all have dreams. And if you remember these three bones, you know, you'll be able to be extremely successful because these are some keys to life. And this is coming from an older person sharing this with some young man. So he said, you need to have the wishbone because that keeps your fire for you chasing your dreams, right? And we all have that. We wish for a lot of different things. We want a lot of different things. Right? Any of y'all have any wishes y'all want to share right now? So let me see. I saw Quincy. What's going on, Quincy? You just came in, so you can answer that one. Y'all got any wishes that y'all have right now that y'all want to fulfill for your future?
For me, I just want to be successful.
Yeah, successful. Like, let's talk about it. What's the definition of success? Or what do you consider success? You want to be 100,000 there, millionaire, billionaire, what? You know, not long ago, I didn't realize that everybody has a different level of what success is. You know what I mean? So, what do you consider success?
I mean, success for me is probably like not worrying about any bills or like not worry about like how I'm living or stuff like that.
So, meaning like, you know, when you get your bills, they covered, like, or you know, when you get a bill, you ain't worrying about it. Because that's like at the end of the day, you know, they always say the more money, more problems. And usually, it's the more money you get, the more spending you have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand that.
So, I need some numbers. Man. Talk some numbers to me. What are y'all talking about here?
Just being like financially free, I guess. Like,
Well, what is that? Like, let's clarify that because what do you consider financially free? You know, you need to make 3,000 a month, 2,000 a month, 5,000, 10,000 a month. You know,
I mean, I'd say if you're making 3,000 a month, I'd say you'd be good, but that's like the tendency like they put in your head, like that's a good amount for you. But like for you to be like financially free, like not worry about anything at all, you'd have to be somewhere above a million in status.
all right. So millionaire status. So y'all say y'all good with $1 million a year?
I mean, I wouldn't say that I am. I'd want more than that because who wouldn't want more money?
The people who get sued for it, right? I mean,
I
we
mean,
do have.
as long as I'm able to like maintain my, desired lifestyle, then
Yeah,
I don't.
like so. Let's talk about. We talking about the wishbone. So the wishbone is what do you desire? You know, for me, I never wanted to be a millionaire. I just wanted to be 100,000. You know, and so I could be comfortable. I don't. You know, after a while, all the numbers is the
Yeah,
same
like
as long as I able to pay the bills and not worry about it. If I lose my job, I'm not worried about it. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
that's me. I'm asking y'all what do y'all think? You know, I don't need a big I didn't need a big house. 4-bedroom house is good enough for me. I don't need 20 bedrooms. You know what I mean? So I'm asking y'all what y'all think. I need a house Rick Ross size. Y'all saw Rick Ross house, right? I sent the email out. If y'all didn't see it. Anybody, y'all saw Rick Ross, right? Didn't we talk about that last week?
Yeah, with the mansion, and then how
Yeah.
the guy couldn't afford to keep it with upkeep.
Yeah. Like, what kind of living you talking about? Even that same thing was for 50 Cent. He brought Mike Tyson house. Y'all know who Mike Tyson is? First, I gotta ask.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So Mike Tyson spent 40 million for his house. Eventually, he couldn't continue to afford it, losing money, doing drugs and everything. And he wound up selling it. 50 Cent brought it for 10 million. 50 Cent, after a while, got tired of it, and he was breaking too much money into it. So he sold it for like 7, 8 million. So you know what I mean? Like, how much is enough? Because we know 50 Cent got a few dollars. Mike Tyson had a few dollars, but that still wasn't enough. So, like, what I'm asking is, I'm gonna try to give me some stuff. Think about these things, man. These are the most important things. Because if you work at a job and you expecting to have millions in your account, eventually, when you graduate from school and everything, you're only making 50,000. That's gonna bother you because you got this wish in your head. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to see what y'all think. Give me some more concrete stuff. Let's see. What I want to say anything. So, Shimon, what you got?
Can you repeat that?
What do you have as far as, like, what's your wish? Wishbone. What's your wishbone? What's some of your dreams?
My wish would be just basically like they said, to be successful.
Yeah, man. That's what we're trying to get. We're trying to get more detail. What's successful to you?
Successful to me is doing something that I enjoy doing as of right now that I always dream of doing.
Mm-hmm.
And also putting much effort to achieving that dream.
So what do you dream of doing right now?
I'm becoming an employee for information technology.
Information technology. Okay. All right. Do you think eventually one day you might own your own service? I was just reading about a woman who she had her IT degree and she wound up starting to teach other companies, uh, employees at other companies, how to use software. That was her whole job. She created like a company. She had $1 million worth of clients, just training people on how to use their software. So, for example, huh?
What are you about to say? I'm sorry.
No, I said, for example, something like Canvas. Like, a lot of people don't know how to use Canvas to the maximum capacity. So she would go and train people and show them how to do software. And she made that her business. But what you was gonna say? You said you got something to do.
I was thinking of like working with the company to design websites.
Mm-hmm.
Doing web design because that's something I would like to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. That's big money. That was I should show you. One time I had the CEO give a speech for this what was it called? Blue Fountain Media. And they're one of, like, if you go to Ink Magazine, if you ever heard of Ink Magazine, you just type in ink.com. It's basically all about business. And they were talking about the top 500 companies that were rising. And it was just a group of guys showing people how to make good websites. Not necessarily
Do they use Wix or something?
no, they didn't use Wix. They would just they make websites themselves for like NBA and minor league baseball. What do you call it? Little league baseball. Like, they work for a lot of different companies, but they were
Okay.
giving workshops teaching people how to actually make your website real. like your wording, your font size. That's one of the things that they did.
Oh, okay.
If I find it, I'll send it to you because I was actually there. I mean, this is some years ago. They're a multi-million-dollar company now. That's all they did was teach people how to update their websites and make stuff better. So wishbone. So like I said, the old man had told the young guy, you need to have a wishbone, something that you can continue to keep it for you to chase your dreams. And then the next one, does anybody else want to share before I go to the next one? Okay, all right. The next one is the jawbone. And the jawbone is to help you ask the questions you need to continue to find your dreams. Am I on the right path? Am I making the right decisions? Is this going to lead me to where I want to be as comfortable and successful? You know, what do y'all think about that? Do y'all ask yourselves these questions? Are you doing the right thing? Are you making the right decisions? Going to major for IT, sports management. What else is in here? Communications. What's some other majors in here?
Yeah, I say I constantly ask myself these questions to make sure I'm following the right path. Because if you don't ask yourself these questions later in life, you're gonna start questioning yourself and like, is that really what you want to do in life?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How do you know if you like? How do you know that you're following the right path though?
Yeah, this is going to get real interesting. So let's talk about that. How do you know? What do y'all guys think? Because I don't like to do all the
If it
time.
feels right, then just go with it.
You think so?
I mean, if you're doing good and it's like you getting better and you see yourself getting better, progressing, then I guess yeah, you're doing it right.
Let me ask y'all this. Have y'all ever had this experience where you might have said something and then all of a sudden it comes up on the television, the topic you was talking about, or maybe like say you felt like just I'll use sports as an example. You thought LeBron could be a better player, right? I'm just saying. And then next thing you know, there's an article that you see on the internet and it's saying the same thing, or you hear the commentator saying, "Oh, LeBron could be a much better player this year." Like just something like that. Like you might be saying something, or you feeling something, and then somebody else just comes and tells you this.
Yes, all the time.
Yeah. So give me an example of what it's like you're in tune with the world. And when I say in tune with the world, it's like what's going on. Like you're paying attention to your surroundings and what's going on in your environment and your daily activities. You start to get this vision where you can see things around you. It's like you get the word foresight. You begin to have foresight. You understand what I'm saying? Like somebody's about to get traded. You know what I mean? Something's about to happen. Good, bad, whatever. But you're in tune with what's actually happening. Has that happened to anybody?
No, I can't say that it has.
No, no, it has to. Well, let me ask y'all this. Has your parents told you something, you disagree with it, and then next thing you know, a few days later, a month later, or something happens where you like, Dad, yeah, somebody else was saying that to me. It could be here. You could be in the meeting here. We say one thing, and then you go and you go to a class or you hear the same information being given to you.
Yeah,
Has that happened?
yeah. It actually happened to me recently. Um, my mom was telling me that me and a couple friends we were going to a restaurant to go out to eat like late in the evening. So after my dad dropped me off, or as my dad was driving me there, my mom just randomly called me and told me, "Do not accept a ride from anyone, because you know if some of your friends may have like drunk and then they attempt to start driving." So she was enforcing that I did not get in the car with anybody. And then as we're waiting for our table to be ready, somebody just has the random idea to go to the mall across the street. So yeah, one of them suggested to drive, and he was one of the worst drivers ever. Like he was pushing the speed limit, like it was like a NASCAR race. But yeah, she was probably telling me about somebody like that. So that would be like my example.
So yeah, you felt probably you realized you might have heard somebody, oh, I shouldn't be in the car with this person. Or did you take the ride or you didn't take the ride?
I took the ride. I should not have, because he was
And you
driving
were sitting
really.
there nervous. You were sitting there about to wet yourself, like, oh God, he think he
Yeah,
can.
like my mom warned me about the people like this.
Bubba Wallace. Right?
Yeah.
But so when I was answering that question, it was Peterson who you asked that question, how do you know? Who had said ask how do you know?
Backley.
Oh, Backley? But so you ask how you know, that is how you know, because sometimes God is going to show you, or you know, I call it God, the spirit, but you're going to see or have those feelings of a reality check. So that was a reality check that Daniel just had. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And same thing when you in school, something happens where you know you might not have gave your best effort and you submitted something and you get the result that you knew you was going to get because you knew you didn't submit. That those are reality checks. And you're going to call it, you're always going to have those in life. And that's how sometimes you definitely identify that you're on the right track. You know? So if you're talking about a topic right now about wishing and bones and dreams and in the process of success, next thing you know, you're gonna go somewhere else and hear something else. Somebody else might come and talk about wishbone. You understand what I'm saying? So it's those type of reality checks that are provided to you. And if you are in tune, that's why I was asking you earlier, if you're in tune and paying attention to the signs, you know? Y'all know who Kenny Smith is? Anybody?
No.
Kenny Smith, the TNT basketball analyst. Nobody watches basketball here?
I don't really get into it like that.
All right, that's fine. Well, he talks about, well, you ever heard somebody say pay attention to the warning signs?
All the time.
Exactly, because there are signs that's given to you. And sometimes people don't pay attention to. But if you are in tune, that's how you know you're going to be on the right track or not. You know, to give you the best example of this, I'll share a story with y'all. I'll tell y'all about when I was 13 years old. I had a cousin, you know, in Yonkers. I'm from the Bronx, with my father and stuff is from Yonkers. And my cousin was he was cooking up crack, cutting up crack in slow bomb projects where Mary J. Blige is from. And, you know, he asked me if I want to learn how to do it. And right then and there, I looked at him being over the table with the crack on the table. And first thing that came to me was eventually he's going to start using it. He's 15 years old. I'm 13. He's sitting there, right? Years later, my cousin is what?
Dead.
No, he's not dead, but he is. Yes. Yes. You see? But I was I take it as God blessing me, giving me the signs, but I was in tune and paying attention with this don't look right. You understand what I'm saying? You sitting over with pretty soon you got to go, right? Next thing you know, you're cracking. But this is what I'm trying to say. The warning signs are there for people. You know, if we talking, you getting involved with a girl, right? I always say this, and a lot of times people love to say, oh, you know, she got pregnant by accident, this, that, and the third. No, 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 no. Because if you didn't want any children, what you supposed to do?
Get some protection.
Huh?
Get some protection.
Exactly. So you know, if you get an STD, you get have a child, you know before you stick it in, you know the outcome or the possibilities, correct?
100%.
Yeah.
So you literally let's talk about let's talk about, don't say this is your girlfriend, you know her for a long time. Let's take that out the equation. The very first time, you know, should I do this or should I not do this? Those are the internal warning signs, right? So if you are in tune, if you're paying attention to what's going on, you could really tell, you know, and make the wise choices and decisions. And that's what the jawbone, that's what your mouth is supposed to be doing. Your mind and your mouth. Your mind moves your mouth. So these are the type of questions you need to be asking. Am I doing the right things to set you up? You know? I told y'all before, you know, like I played in sports and I really thought I was going to the NBA. And once I had that reality check of playing against an NBA player, well, I mean, I played against a lot of them. This one specific one, the reality check was, LeBron, you're not as good as you think you are. It's time for you to find another way. Reality check. Now, I still had college friends and everything saying that they still was going to the NBA. And I had actually a college friend who used to say he could beat Kobe Bryant, y'all. He used to say I could beat Kobe Bryant. He used to literally say that. He's 17 years old. I could beat Kobe Bryant. We playing the number 2 team in the country. You know what he does during the game? He's shooting air balls, looking at his hands like, whatever. So he didn't have the reality check. He wasn't really questioning it or thinking about what he was saying. He was just talking. Get a lot of those, right? So your jawbone should always, you know, Rick Ross, y'all know who Rick Ross is, right? Yes, no, maybe so.
Yeah.
So he has a song, it's called Tears of Joy. And if you hear the song, it's with CeeLo Green. And in the song, he really just talks about success and being able to achieve it and questioning how he got there, you know? And was he supposed to make it and be successful or wasn't he, you know? And if he is supposed to be successful, why does he have to go through so many difficult situations? You know, so it's tears of joy. But that constant questioning, that's what we have to do. It's our jawbone. Anybody questioning anything now about their schooling and their experiences in school? Like, did you choose the right major? What? Are you doing the right things? Is this going to help you? It's the right classes? Anyone? I only see it. I only see 3 names on the screen. Anybody? I got Shamar, Peter Simmons, Brackley. Those are the only names I see. So somebody else say something. Is there anything you're questioning right now in your college experience?
Not at the moment.
And it's not your college experience. What about life? You know, did y'all see in overseas there was a drawing, you know, there was a drawing of the queen sitting on Meghan Markle's neck, just like the officer was sitting on George Floyd's neck. Y'all see that? Like, are y'all having any questions about anything? Like, why are you here? Everything is going perfect and according to plan? That's what y'all telling me?
I'm sorry, you repeat yourself. I ain't hear you.
I said, is everything going according to plan and perfect? There we go. Now I can see it.
I mean, mostly, yeah, there's some ups and downs, but everything going according to plan.
Okay. All right. So the last one I'm gonna show y'all is the backbone. So I'm talking about picking out bones. So you got your wishbone, wishing, the jawbone, and continue questioning. And what's the backbone for?
The effort you put in.
Yeah, almost. Somewhat. What else? The effort you put in. What else? What's your backbone do? I know you heard it say, get yourself some backbone. Or have some backbone.
Encouragement. I don't.
Yeah, courage. You have some backbone, you are stuck, you adamant about something, right? If you have a backbone, you keep going until you realize what you want is possible, right? You keep going and pursuing. You know, I said that people want to be successful. Well, the only reason why you're not successful is because you give up. You know, I can tell y'all a gentleman who works here, people don't know about it. He's a rapper. He works at the college. And just the other day, you know, he gets maybe about a 10,000 views on his YouTube and stuff like that. But just the other day, he was with Takashi. He wound up getting the opportunity to meet Takashi 6ix9ine. And guess what happened? He's been adamant all these years. He get upset, hey, you know, I don't get the videos, I don't get as many video watches or views like I should, right? But he's been having a strong backbone and continue to push and to push and to push and to push. He meets Takashi, takes a picture with Takashi. Guess how many views he gets? And Takashi liked him. Liked him. Guess how many views he got in one day? Take a guess, somebody.
1 million?
Yeah, I was gonna say 1 million as well. Nice.
Close, but he got more to it. But he got a few 100,000. You understand?
100,000.
But he only used to get, the max he had was 10,000 on his best video. Everything else but he kept pushing. Now Takashi is calling him. You forget how you feel about him, but we do know he's one of the most popular entertainers, right? And he has a connection to him now to maybe boost his success to another level, right? He has the sponsor that he needs. Because, you know, Takashi don't like too many people and stuff like that now. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Takashi comes out with one video, it's 42 million views. This gentleman now gets a like by a gentleman who has 42 million views. And part of it is because he did not give up on his career. He had a backbone and said, I'm good at this. This is what I want to do. And keep pursuing it and working at it. I'm not saying that it just happens. He's continued to tweak, work, and improve on his goal, not just staying stagnant. Continue to work at it, having a strong backbone. I'm going to make this happen, you know? And I also will bring up Rick Ross, since I brought up him earlier as an example. You know, he wanted to be a rapper so bad. We know he was a correction officer. But it took him 10 years. 10 years. That's having backbone before he can get famous and get his record deal. 10 years. You know? And we know most people who we surround ourselves with sometimes, they can't, if they don't get it right away or 1 month or 2 months, it's over. Just imagine having a strong enough backbone to say, hey, I'm not going to stop. 10 years. So these are the things, I said type of this was having a bone to pick. These are the bones. We got to continue to use our wishbone, realizing our dreams, wanting our dreams, use our jawbone to continue to evaluate our dreams, have a backbone to continue to pursue our dreams. So that's what I wanted to share with y'all today. And I want to see, you know, what y'all had to share, or some experiences where you have showed that you have a backbone. You know, one of my experiences was, and still to this day I'm grateful for, is telling my cousin no. I could have fell victim to the peer pressure. You know, this is my older cousin. They showed me how to ride a bike. You know what I mean? So what about y'all? Anytime you ever shown you had a backbone? Shamar?
I can't really recall the day I have a backbone. I can recall where I really studied hard and the rest of the students, I'm not sure. I have to think about that.
What about you, Blackie? Like any peer pressure, anything you had that came about when you stood your ground? Hey, you know, take this off so I can see you. Any experiences? Nothing?
I mean, I said I like from
For me,
mostly, with the marijuana,
Mm-hmm.
everybody, mostly I'm not gonna say mostly the black community, but mostly, low income communities, not my friends. Excuse me. So most of the people I know, they usually smoke.
Mm-hmm.
And this has been, for instance, like as we entering high school.
Mm-hmm.
Please mind your business. And all the time they're like, "Yo, Pete, what's up with the smoke?" I'm like, "Nah, I don't do that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do that stuff." Like to this day, like they're still doing these things, and mind you, it's affected their diet. It affects how they eat.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, like they can't even eat without smoking first, and it just doesn't make sense to me. Like I didn't want to do it, and I did it, and I'm sticking to it.
I appreciate the honesty. Thank you, man, because that is so true. I don't smoke, don't like smoke. First of all, I don't like anything that's going to give you an odor. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I can smell it on you. You know, I tell you all a story. We had a student in here one time. and it really pissed me off. And Celine had to intervene because he come in here saying he want to go to school, but I could just smell that you walked all the way in here from your car and you just got finished smoking. Like, how can I take you serious and you coming in with me with this bag or cloud or smell? You understand what I'm saying? And that happens so much. Peer pressure and not having a backbone. When I was younger, the thing to do was drink nutcrackers. And for me, you know, I don't know if y'all got any brothers or sisters, you know, you might have an older sister who looks nice and stuff like that, and your parents probably told your sister, just don't be taking no drink from anybody, right? When you go out. Because you know people be out here date raping and doing all that stuff with these drugs, right? So for me, they used to sell nutcrackers in the neighborhood. I'm not getting anything. And at the time, I've seen plenty of people drink alcohol, but not to the level where you have one cup and they, you know, one cup. So obviously they was putting something in it, you know? So, you know, I was in the car, somebody tried to tell me, hey, you know, take a drink, take a drink. The answer was no. And this is one of my proudest moments in life. That's why I'm sharing this with you. And my friend said, I don't know why you keep asking me. You know, he said, no, it ain't gonna happen. And it's because I had that background. And that's a lot of things that we have to have in life. So that's definitely a good story. And because you brought up marijuana, I'm going to share this with y'all. Share it. I'm going to send it in the group thing, a video to watch about the effects of marijuana. Because people love to say, oh, this is natural and this and this. What's natural is if you actually have it grown and you get it from outside or wherever it's at. Buying it off of people and everything, come on. You don't know what they do with marijuana. Yeah, I had a culture come from an environment where I had people peeing weed, they just put roach spray on weed, a lot of different chemicals, and people be out here smoking. And I love to hear how students and stuff say it doesn't affect me, it has no change. But you can see their appearance looks a little bit different than when you first met them or before they first started smoking. And so it's a lot of denial that goes on specifically with that. And just because the NBA want to allow NBA players to smoke doesn't mean it's cool. There's nothing cool about sitting there all day. And there's some symbolic things about that too that I can go into later. I ain't trying to take everybody's time all day. But the symbolic, you sitting up there sucking on something, There's symbolic parts to that as well. So, drugs alone, we do know why the reason why drugs is being passed, the use of drugs being passed in these different states, right? Anybody?
For
Can you
those,
repeat that?
You know why the drugs are being passed, marijuana is being passed in these different states? It's not to heal people.
isn't it just to satisfy those with addictions?
Not at all.
Is it because majority get caught with them and they sentenced to maximum years in jail or prison?
No.
Because they want to
Is
make
it
money
because
off
they
our
profit?
communities.
What is it, Peterson?
They want to make money off our communities.
Exactly.
Yeah, they try to
So
make profit.
that's all. That's all it is. So don't ever think they really care about you, this, that, and the third. At the end of the day, California used to be bankrupt. So they were the first to pass the marijuana laws. And now California has a surplus. Those who are in business class should know what those words mean, right? So they are profiting off of people's addiction. But then they also tell you they care. It's the same thing like lotto. And I don't know if anybody got a mother like my mother. They love to go get them scratch offs and go to the dollar store and try the lotto, right? But at the same time, they put a little small thing in the back and say, if you think you have a problem, call this number, right? Y'all see that?
Yeah, I see that.
You see it all the time, right? So don't ever think that, Go ahead, Mr. Miller. You want to say something?
Doctor, good afternoon, gentlemen. I've just been listening, and I like to thank, I appreciate Dr. Williams and what he shared. I just want to share, gentlemen, that first of all, you all demonstrated a backbone, and you're right. It was an old-fashioned saying to mean have courage. Either you make a stand for what you feel is right. Um, your being on the call shows some kind of initiative and courage. You know what? I could be doing something else. I say this all the time. So um, when you take an interest in something, then that means you might your position might be opposite to your friends. But like Dr. Williams said, if once you establish that kind of rep for yourself, they won't ask you anymore. And also going back to I think Daniel getting in a car with someone else, gentlemen, I want to tell you, if I used to work in a high school, and I would say to my students, if your friend is working for McDonald's and he's got a 20, well, that back then it might have been a 1998, a brand new car, something that should tell you you might be infatuated by it, you might be excited about it, but if you know where he lives, what kind of job he has, for him to have that kind of car, you need to think about it. Um, the other thing you said in terms of doing well on a test or knowing you studied well and studied hard and you got good results. And whenever you make a stand for what's right, you're going to get some kind of pushback or you might get criticism, but you have to know yourself. You know what's right, you know what's wrong, and it's going to cost you something. Um, I think it was Peterson who talked about not, am I right? Who, he knows people who smoke, but he doesn't. What you understand, you made a stand there. That was a stand. That means there are future stands you're going to make. When you start, and that's a major step. You have not, you develop your own set of morals, mores, standards, and you're not bowing. That says a lot about you, gentlemen, in terms of you might know someone who has, and you've made a stand. If you make a stand like that in the midst of that kind of pressure, when other pressures come, you will already built up the courage and the stamina to say no, to say no. Um, the other thing too is that all the things you guys have been talking about is it might not right now, you might not get it right now, but if you just keep, I have it's an old fashioned saying, yeah, because I'm old. Just keep living, because I mean not to be older, but just in a couple of years, where you keep keeping in and coming to class and going online, you're going to graduate. You're going to get your degree. You're going to go to the next step. So when you talk about, you shared about, well, right now, I don't have a thought about that. But if you stay in the race, this is not a dash, it's a marathon. And you will eventually cross this line. Some of you you might be in class of 2020. Some of you might be class of 2018 or 2019. And this is your graduation year. Some of you might have to take summer classes to graduate. That means you will persevere. You might have had issues that were challenging, but you're persevering. You're still on the call. You're still going online, although it's a challenge with the remote and the internet and the Wi-Fi. You're still in the race. And we all get tired and we sometimes get frustrated and we sometimes want to give up. But just stay in the race. Um, I I commend you guys. I know we can't meet. We're not meeting and face to face. And some of your names I recognize because I'll call you and left messages. But I just want to encourage you guys to just stay in the race. Uh, the challenges, and just if you ask a question, take a stab at it, because we're preparing you in your not too distant future to be. You might be called to speak in your future job. You might be called to represent the company. You might be called to explain your experiences at Union County College before going to a 4 year or wherever you choose to go. Get used to the idea of speaking. Uh, We can't see you. Well, you choose. We know you're there. Just speak up. There's no one thing about this Zoom call. There are no right and wrong answers. We are trying to prepare you to be efficient speakers, more effective speakers, express your opinion on things. Um, and maybe if something that comes up you're not sure about, maybe Google it. Um, one of the things that you may or might not be interested, if you're a history person, this whole thing about the Harry and I forget her name. What's his wife's name? What's Harry's wife's name? The
Megan
president.
Markle.
Megan. Gentlemen, that's a whole lesson in itself. That's a whole, you might not have seen the interview. There's a whole message in that interview. We talking about a dynasty that's been around for hundreds of years, and there's a crack in the wall. And so you might say, well, how does that relate to me? And how does it relates? It just goes to show it doesn't matter where the power is. It doesn't matter how much money a government has. There's a crack in the wall.
Mr.
And,
Miller.
yes, sir.
I just want to put the video up real quick so they can see the similarities of what I'm talking about. So we know who recently was just like that. So what she's saying is the crack and how it relates to us. Look how people think, you know? This is actually a magazine that was published. Ain't something? So,
wow.
Y'all see it?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah. So because you're talking about it, so I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah.
So that shows how much worldwide, because you know most death out of I said world nigga laws, and at the end of the day, this is a clear example. It's another language, this, that, and the third. You know.
So gentlemen, there's a lot.
Sorry.
Thank you, but I'm glad the issues we're dealing with, it's a worldwide issue, and it's on different levels. That happened there on a level in terms of uncovering discrimination and racist activity for years has finally come to the surface. We're dealing with the situation now in Minneapolis. The officer who killed George Floyd, it's now coming around. Here it is, like March. There's so many things that happened. This is a year ago today that I was just thinking, Dr. Williams, that we were sent home from UCC. It was March the 17th, 2020. And of course, it was the pandemic had started. It wasn't to the degree that it is now. But you gentlemen know where you were last year this time. And what has transpired in that year. And we've faced maybe the loss of a loved one or a friend in that time. But thank God we're still here to try to pursue those things that we desire to do. But gentlemen, a lot of this conversation we're doing is to make you, maybe it doesn't relate, you feel it doesn't relate right now, but it's trying to make you become aware of what's going on, not only in your neighborhood, in your surroundings, but across the nation, around the world. And these incidents impact you. It might not seem like it does, but what we're seeing and what you experience impacts you. It helps you to be alert, to be on guard. Keep your eyes and ears open. And like he said, when you must be careful of the company you keep. Be careful of the company you keep. You are affected or can be infected by the company you keep. And they might call you names, they might call you whatever, but you already know what the right thing to do is. Your parents have taught you, you've been around, you had some positive influence, or maybe you had to go outside the family, but you know what the right thing to do is. And your future, it's just, it's very bright. I want to share this one thing with you. There was a young man I taught in Elizabeth before I came to Union. I taught in Elizabeth for 40 years at the high school. This young man lived in Elizabeth. I don't know if you know anything about Elizabeth, but The area in which he lived was not the best area. He had brothers who made other decisions. This young man came to school, high school, went to Union County College, then went on to get a degree in criminal justice from Kane. This young man, because he did not deal with the drug scene, he did not deal with, this young man passed the test. He is now he was part of President Obama's security details. This young man from Elizabeth. So if he's on his security detail, they check everything out from his birth, his mother's birth, his grandmother's birth, everybody in order for him to have this position. It's because he made a decision to stay focused. So he's like, from us, wherever you're from, it's doable. You just have to make a decision now, because whatever decision you make now will affect your future. What decision you make, although it might seem insignificant or small, it affects your future. So I'm just saying, this young man, because he was focused, and the decision he made, he now has. You talking about money before? Well, I don't know how much he's making, but I know it's above the minimum wage. It's above, but because he made some decisions as a high school student, as a county college student, as a 4-year student, and he kept pursuing that, and he's now where he is now because of the choices he made when he was your age. So I'm just saying, that's one of the other students that he is 30 some odd years old now, but he was in high school. He was a football player, and if football players, if you play sports, you become popular, and everybody, the coach wants you to slide and all that, but not in my class. We're going to have it. You got to do what you're supposed to do. I got a call from him about a month or so ago. And in this class, gentlemen, if your English professor or whatever asks you to write things, I don't know, in diaries or journals, or write for a presentation, keep it. This young man kept we had a journal because everyone was required to speak and share like we're doing right now, but they had to write it down. He had this he was 18 when he graduated. He just showed me, he kept, in all of his moving, he kept this journal, and he looked back over the journal, some of the things he had written. So when you have an opportunity to write some things down now, 10, 5, 10, 15 minutes, 15 years from now, you might be able to write. So where you are, you're in a very good place right now. You're in a very good place like now. Like Backley Jean, I know, Peterson without a hood. I don't see you today, Peterson, but that's all right. I'm not mad at you. You're on the call. But you guys are in a very good place. Take advantage of every opportunity. Every opportunity. You should be either blowing up the phone, or Salim or Dr. Williams, or in the office that you can come in. What do I need to do? How can I do this? If you need to take a class for the summer, I'm just saying to you, it's all part of your program. If you take one in summer 1 and one in summer 2, you might say, oh, I want my summer off. But gentlemen, we're not dealing with the present, right? We're working on your future. You're working on your future, and it will pay off. Don't believe the naysayers. Oh, it will pay off. I just wanted to comment, Dr. Williams, the information you're giving, it's great information, and I appreciate you guys who come on faithfully on a weekly basis. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. I really needed to hear that.
Now, 2 things I sent in the link. I sent the link with the stuff about marijuana, so y'all can look at it. This is from Dr. Wesley Muhammad. He tells you, he breaks everything down for you, just to give you some examples. But I also had mentioned the company. Who said they was interested in computers and IT?
I did.
All right, so let me show you this, because I found the company. the person I am, I just don't talk. I like to show, you know, because so let me share this screen with you, and then I just find this so funny. And this is why I'm saying earn your spot, take the spot. So this is the Blue Mountain Company I mentioned a minute ago, right? So if you want to see, let me see if I can find a sample one of their companies. So this is all the stuff that they do for web services. They usually have some examples. Let's see. Let's see. And like I said, if you go to Inc. Magazine, you can look them up in Inc. Magazine. They're a top company. They're like a top 500 independent company. But I wanted to see something. This is the main thing I wanted you to see because I find stuff like this funny. And this is the reason why we're doing what we're doing. This is why we want students to come to the meetings. So y'all can see it, leadership, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And scroll down. Right? Right?
Right.
Right? Right? Right?
Okay.
Right? Right? What don't you see?
I see what you're saying.
What don't you see? See, this is the whole purpose of what we're doing here. And this is, I don't want you to have to go work for them. I'd rather you do this yourself. But you can start now learning how they do these things. If that's
There's
really
not one black man on that company.
exactly.
Yeah.
And just so you know, I have it's okay. So this is what I'm saying. I wanted to show you who all the companies. I think it passed. Hold on, work. I think it'll show you all the companies and people they work with. You see everything they have worked with. You see that? Y'all know about some of these, right? You know NYU. All these companies they work with. And nonprofit organizations, like they got a whole list. Let's do sports, technology, real estate. Let me see. I'm trying to find entertainment, so it's probably so global places. But they've been doing this for a very long time, and I've learned stuff from them and everything like that as well. But the point I'm making is that you're not included in the mix. So this is one of the reasons why you have to get your degree, get your education, get your experiences, and also read that and learn from other people who are doing what you are doing. I prefer you read somebody who looks like you, but sometimes you may not, which is a rarity, you may not find somebody. But if you're learning how these folks do it now, you're ahead of the game when you become that professional. You see what I'm saying? That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. That's how you definitely have that backbone to keep working at it and continue to learn, and nobody can really stop you. So I just wanted to share that because I like talking about things, and sometimes I mention stuff, but I want people to actually see it. When you see it, you know, seeing is believing. You know what I mean? So anybody else want to share anything before we depart today? I appreciate you guys coming on. Y'all gonna have a good spring break starting next week, right? So we won't see y'all, no meeting next week. I hope y'all do something fun and enjoyable. Catch up on all your classwork, you know, schoolwork. And it was one more thing, Mr. Miller, you were saying. I wanted to share another. You were talking about Markel. I shared that picture. You talked about marijuana. I shared the video, the link, the blue. There was one more thing that I'm missing. I just cannot remember what it said. And I was like, ooh, I gotta show that. But I cannot remember. But anything else y'all want to share?
Okay. Before you, am I muted? Can you hear me? Okay. I just want to say to Jamil, I want to commend you. Part of my responsibility is check on the progress notes, and I just want to commend you on the fine job you're doing with your classes. And we are watching. We because we're concerned. So I'm glad I got this opportunity today. I couldn't wait. I was hoping that you were on, and you are, but you are going ahead. You're doing well. Particularly, I looked at the bio class, and you're passing, and you're doing well. I just want to commend you to keep it up. Just keep it up. And if you feel like you need to call somebody, my number is going to come up. Call Dr. Williams. You guys, we keep saying we're here to call us. Call us. That's what we're here to do, to help you. And there's nothing shameful about asking for help. Listen, Mr. Williams, Dr. Williams, all the time. I've learned their numbers. I will call them in a heartbeat. If he's busy, I'll call Salim. Somebody's gonna help me. So it's important that if you need help, call and ask for help. It's very important. In fact, that's backbone, that's courage right there. If you know there's something you don't know and somebody else knows, then you ask him. One of the things that Dr. Williams, you just spurred, we live in a global world. And Dr. Williams alluded to, if you can't find someone who looks like you, find someone who doesn't look like you, and you want to learn something from them. Because you don't know who you're going to be working with until you get your own, or if they have some ideas you might have, or they might have contacts. Networking is still very important. So you want to expand your horizon beyond the people you know. It's very important. It's very important. So, as we said before, it's not always what you know, it's oftentimes who you know. So, but I want to commend Jamil and other members on Peterson, Daniel, and Shamar, Mr. Robinson. Good to hear from you.
Good to
Thank
hear.
you, Mr. Miller.
Yeah.
Likewise.
So if y'all don't have anything else to share, we can conclude this meeting. Y'all have a good spring break.
Stay safe.
Enjoy yourself. Yeah, stay safe, COVID free. Think about it. Pay attention to what's going on in this world.
Yes.
Constantly. All right.
Pay attention.
Let's go
exercise.
All right, enjoy the rest of your day.
All right. You too.
Thank
All right,
you.
all right, gentlemen. Stay safe.
Thank you. Take care.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Williams.
You're welcome, Mr. Miller. Mr. Miller, I'm gonna call you real quick because I gotta. I'm gonna send you something else for tomorrow.
Okay, no problem. Thanks. Okay. Bye-bye.